Jimmy Butler is unhappy in Miami, and it's not because the team hasn't been winning, it's because of what the Heat's president Pat Riley said about him.
If you're not on the court playing against Boston or on the court playing against the New York Knicks, you should keep your mouth shut in your criticism of those teams.
You know, honestly, this just doesn't make sense to me. How in the world are you gonna speak about your star player like that publicly? It is clear that Miami is Jimmy Butler's team. He's the leader on and off the court. And even if he was injured and didn't get a chance to play Boston in the first round, you just don't talk about your players like that. Like, honestly, I wouldn't want to be playing for somebody that's telling me to keep my mouth shut. If I was an NBA player, the leader of the team that I'm playing for needs to support me 100%, not making me look bad in public. And that's exactly what Pat Riley did to Jimmy Butler. To think that Jimmy was on the Heat for the last 5 years and took them to 2 NBA Finals appearances, that he would get much more respect than this. He deserves more respect than this. And honestly, I'm not surprised that we're hearing that Jimmy is unhappy. We're hearing also that his agent is extremely unhappy of the way Pat Riley is treating his star. During the beginning of the offseason, we didn't hear much about a Jimmy Butler trade rumor. We were hearing more about Brandon Ingram, Zach LaVine, and Trae Young was a popular one too. But Jimmy Butler is the biggest trade target right now, and there are many teams that are eyeing him. But the question is, which team is Jimmy eyeing? Which team does Jimmy want to play for? Jimmy Butler's interest in the Brooklyn Nets is very, very real. Part of it is New York. Part of it is that Bernie Lee, who is Ben Simmons' agent, is very happy with how his client has been dealt with by the Nets. Jimmy Butler is being linked heavily to the Brooklyn Nets right now, not because they're a championship contender, because Jimmy wants to build something in Brooklyn. We've seen Jimmy Butler do it before. When he joined the Miami Heat, they instantly became an NBA championship contender. All he needs is good role players around him, and he will do just fine in the playoffs. Remember this as well, Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons were former teammates on the 76ers, so the relationship is already there, the history is already there, but now a fresh start would rekindle a new duo in the Eastern Conference, of course if they're healthy. When Jimmy Butler is healthy and his team makes the playoffs, his team in the playoffs is unbeatable. We've seen it happen in 2023 when he literally carried the Miami Heat on his shoulders, leading them to the NBA Finals. Of course, the team wasn't enough to defeat Nikola Jokic's Denver Nuggets, but still, we know the value of Jimmy Butler when he's on the court. This trade is realistic if Brooklyn and Miami would talk. It would be Jimmy Butler in exchange for Bojan Bogdanovic, Dorian Finney-Smith, Dennis Schroeder, the 2026 first-round pick, and 2 2029 first-round picks. Something important to note is this trade would not enlist the 2025 first-round pick because the Nets want to keep their 2025 first-round pick for Cooper Flag. Jimmy Butler is thinking ahead of joining the Brooklyn Nets because they have cap space to pay him, but of course, if they get Cooper Flag, Jimmy Butler would play with a rising star in the league that has the hype to be the next face of the NBA. A team of Cooper Flag, a healthy Jimmy Butler, and a healthy Ben Simmons would do damage in the Eastern Conference, and the team would checkmark every offense and defensive category. Miami Heat fans, you're not going to like the topic of this video, but it's your president's fault. Why would your president, Pat Riley, say those words to Jimmy Butler, telling him to shut his mouth? Honestly, that might just shut the Miami Heat's future with Jimmy on the team. But thank you SeatGeek for sponsoring Easy Buckets fans. Listen guys, NBA tickets are now available. The season is about to start. Preseason tickets are cheap, and you can get even cheaper tickets on SeatGeek. What makes SeatGeek special is they tell you the value of the seat that you're buying. So get your cheap tickets on SeatGeek today. And we partner with SeatGeek, giving Easy Buckets fans a discount promo code. Use my code EasyBuckets on SeatGeek, and you will get $20 off your first purchase. The Golden State Warriors are linked to Jimmy Butler as well. The Warriors are in desperate mode. They're trying to bring in another star to support Stephen Curry, as of course Stephen Curry is going to retire within the next 5 years, and they need to capitalize the best they can, giving Stephen Curry the best chance he can to get his 5th championship. And Jimmy Butler could be the perfect player that brings in an offensive and defensive minded play to of course still excel Stephen Curry, being the #1 scoring option, and of course support in the defensive side that Stephen Curry doesn't bring. The only way the Miami Heat would do this trade is if the Warriors offered Jonathan Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins, Kevon Looney, Gary Payton, and a 2026 first-round pick in exchange for Jimmy Butler. This is a win-win situation trade for both teams. The Miami Heat can build around the future of Jonathan Kuminga being their new starting small forward. They can develop around Bam Adebayo being the #1 option on offense and defense, and Jonathan Kuminga as the rising star, and view Kuminga as their next 10-year plan. On the Warriors side, this gives Stephen Curry his final chance on playing with another superstar to fully attempt to win his last championship as he's in the league. With Jimmy Butler being an excellent playmaker, scorer, and defender, he fits perfectly as the second option on the Golden State Warriors. And with the front court of Jimmy and Draymond playing defense and a strong center of Trayce Jackson-Davis, the Warriors starting lineup would be a difficult one to score against. The Houston Rockets have been linked to Jimmy Butler as well, as the Rockets are believed to be one of the up-and-coming rising teams in the NBA. The Rockets have a lot of young players that are upcoming, that are developing, and could be serious in the NBA very soon. And adding a veteran leader like Jimmy Butler would excel them to the next level. The Rockets already have Fred VanVleet as their current captain, but every championship team needs 2 captains, 2 veterans at least, and Jimmy and Fred would be 2 great captains on this rising team. A Houston Rocket trade would be Jimmy Butler in exchange for Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, and Amen Thompson. This would be an excellent trade on the Miami Heat side as well, as they can develop on the rise of Jalen Green and the sophomore of Amen Thompson, still getting a solid defender of Dillon Brooks. And on the Rockets' perspective, push full throttle for their first playoff appearance in a while. The San Antonio Spurs are a sleeper team that could be targeting Jimmy Butler. Signing Chris Paul to a 1-year deal this summer makes the Spurs a better team. Victor Wembanyama has his point guard leader, Maestro. Bringing in Harrison Barnes to the squad as well gives them good quality depth. But with how young the San Antonio Spurs is and the older Greg Popovich is getting, they have to do whatever they can to capitalize when Greg Popovich is coaching the team to give them a true chance of winning a championship. And adding Jimmy Butler alongside Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama would be excellent, and of course pushing Victor Wembanyama early on to a true playoff experience. A San Antonio trade would be Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, a 2026 first-round pick, a 2028 first-round pick in exchange for Jimmy Butler. Pat Riley's comments on Jimmy Butler started all of these rumors, and honestly, Jimmy Butler has become the hottest, most likely star to be traded. So Easy Buckets fans, you have to keep an eye out for the NBA trade deadline and the rumors that are leading up to it. But honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if we get a big Woj bomb hearing that Jimmy is already shipped away and leaves Miami. Besides Jimmy Butler, there are other stars that are still on the trade market, and I made a video talking about 8 NBA stars that are most likely to be traded this season and soon. You have to check out this video to deep dive more into the trade scenarios. But other than that, take it easy, God bless, and I'll see you all next time on Easy Buckets.